So the year is 2011. I've only been in real estate for probably about 2.5 years. I'm 22 years old, and I'm showing, probably 21 years old, and I'm showing a property in Patchogue. Back then it was, a little bit challenging to find a house that was for a good price, but also something that you could move in and live into. So I was working with a partner at the time, and he was working with another buyer that also happened to have a showing scheduled the same day as I'm bringing my buyer. So I'm like, this is great. One way or another, we're gonna sell this house today. What are the chances that both of them won't want it? So as I pull up, I noticed that on the listing itself, it said need a little TLC, but when I got there, it needed a lot more than just a little TLC. The house literally looked like something in like a Hitchcock movie. The roof was caving in. You could actually see like the bows of the roof, like this. The shrubs were all overgrown, and there's still people living in the house, oddly enough. Now when I looked there, it was daytime outside, but it was so dark in the house, we couldn't make out is there someone in there or not. And as I'm looking around, we literally see this woman that literally looks like a witch out of a movie. These were eyes that could pierce through a soul. It looked like I was looking into pure evil. Now, was she evil? I can't verify that for a fact, but it felt evil as hell. Especially when she looked at Joe, when I said, this is my buyer, his name is Joe, and she's like, hello, Joe. And Joe was standing behind me, actually just walked behind me. As if I'm gonna protect him. I won't. I will not. Just so you know, like if we ever go into a haunted house, I'm not protecting you. So that's one thing to just get out of the way. Long story short, I'm like, Joe, get the F from behind me, bro. Stand next to me like a grown ass man. So he come next to me, he's a friend of mine. That's why I talk to him like that. We start walking to the house. When we walk in the house, she's sitting there with her husband. The home has a flickering light, and there's garbage just stacked up to the ceilings everywhere. And you literally hear like, from upstairs. I'm like, what the f? The smell, I can't even like tell you what it's like. It was garbage, rot, dead cats, combination of all of these things. The smell was so bad. I'm trying not to open my mouth. And the taste, really, we were trying not to dry heave. So as I'm hearing this noise, and I'm really contemplating not going upstairs, because who would you go? I mean, I don't even know how we're contemplating at that moment. And literally, I feel something just come up between my legs and jumps me up. And me and Joe are petrified. We look down, it's this huge pit bull. Luckily, the pit bull was friendly. It's probably the friendliest thing in the house. As we creep upstairs, she says the sound is the wind. I open up the door to one of the bedrooms, and it's her son. The dude is huge. He must be like 6'5", 250, 300 pounds, big dude. He's just going, and like sweating like crazy and scratching the wall, ripping apart the sheetrock with his bare hands, with his fingernails, scratching it away. At this point, I'm like, let's get the hell out of here. We walk, I said, thank you so much, this and that. We run out. When we get out of the house, we start dry heaving and throwing up in front of the house on the street. Me and Joe are both super grossed out. The smell is in our clothes, it won't come off. We literally don't even know what to do. And I know my partner at the time, Corey, he's coming with his client to show the house. And I'm like, he's gonna be here in like 15 minutes. And Joe's like, you should call him and tell him it's a no-go. And I said, no, even better, we should drive up the block where he can't see us and watch their reactions as they go in and come out and throw up, just like we did. What we did was we waited up the block for him, we see him pull up, and we're like, this poor bastard, he has no idea what he's about to walk into. They walk in the house. You literally watch the time go by, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I'm like, aren't they out of the house yet? So I'm texting him, he won't respond to me. By the way, I know his client, because we're working with the same clients. I text that client too, he won't respond to me. Me and Joe are looking at each other like, oh my God, what the hell is going on? I'm thinking maybe this guy was upstairs, got a hold of him or something, because it's scary as hell. Like, what is going on? Why are they not answering? And how come they've been in that type of house where you can't even breathe for almost an hour? All of a sudden, around 50 minutes in, Corey comes out with his client. And what do? They start walking the property and going around it. Now this guy's not, by the way, the buyer is not a flipper or an investor. The buyer is looking to buy a house and live in it. And I was shocked, but I called Corey and I'm like, dude, what the hell is going on? He's like, I think he wants to make an offer. I'm like, what? How's it gonna be? He says he believes he can fix it up. By the way, the guy who's buying the house has no experience in construction. He watched House Hunters a lot. So, basically he thinks that, in about 30 minutes, 2 commercial breaks and a lunch, bam, house is renovated. Long story short, it didn't work out. The house didn't appraise. Thank God he didn't get it because we found something much nicer. But I could tell you, To this day, when I drive past that house, because not much has changed about it since, I still get nauseous, and I can still go back and smell that smell. And that's probably one of the craziest things I've ever seen or experienced. And to be honest with you, it felt so much like a horror movie. I think that's probably one of the reasons it didn't sell ultimately, even to this day.